Hey everyone, I hope you're all good. You join me today on a very gloomy doomy day in London in February, on which I'm sporting a particularly awful haircut because I've just butchered it myself. Obviously we can't go out and get haircuts at the moment, barbers, hairdressers, whatever. So I went alone and just killed it, which is great. But more importantly, I want to talk to you today about my bike. I've already mentioned on the channel that some of the things I want to do this year involve cycling. So I thought a good way to get started would be to talk you through the spec, why I bought it and what I like about it. Hannah, this video is kind of for you, so if you're watching, I hope you enjoy it. So yeah, I also want to address the fact that yes, obviously I don't have a bike stand. It is balancing on a chair and an old shelf bolted into the wall. It's fine, I'm a rookie cyclist, so hopefully it doesn't fall off during this video. Mum, if you're watching, don't have a go at me about my unironed shirt, please. So what were some of my criteria when I was originally buying a bike? Basically I wanted a carbon fork at least, didn't really care about the frame material too much. 105 running gear or better. Last time I've been running a few kind of Shimano, Sora and Claris bikes, and I did just think I wanted 105. Also my girlfriend got a 105 bike, so there you go. Yeah, and something with a fairly relaxed geometry as well. I didn't want anything too racy, too hunkered down, and something I could kind of be comfortable on, especially going to kind of clipless pedals. I didn't want to be stuck in a bike that was really uncomfortable and I just got nervous on riding around and think I was going to fall off of all the time. Yeah, so I had originally been looking at buying a new bike, so I was kind of looking at Sigma Sports, places like that, because my employer offered a cycle to work voucher. Obviously can't go to work at the moment, so the cycling element is a bit redundant, and mainly the reason I didn't go down that route was because lead times are massive, so there weren't really any bikes in my price range available in the shops anyway. It was kind of like 3k and up, which is ludicrous, and on top of that wait time, the vouchers also took a while to come as well, so I wouldn't have had a bike until March 21 time at the earliest, which wasn't ideal, it wasn't what I wanted. So that is why I resorted to Facebook Marketplace, which is actually where I picked this bike up. So what is it? It's a Bianchi, I hope I said that right and not offended anyone, a Bianchi Intenso. It's the 130th edition, which means it's made in 2015, 2016. Now this is a full carbon bike, so the frame is carbon, the fork is carbon, everything else is not carbon, but there you go. And it was originally spec'd with 105 group set, so yeah. The previous owner's gone through and actually changed a few things, so I'll address those in just a second. It's a rim brake bike. Obviously that's a bit weird buying a rim brake bike going into winter, and I was kind of on the lookout for a disc brake bike, seeing as I am kind of riding around, not doing like big climbs or anything like that, but I might feel the effect of the lightness of rim brakes. But I just got kind of drawn into this bike and really loved it. So that is why I've ended up with a rim brake bike. So yeah, obviously the bike actually picked up very little bit from the criteria that I'd originally put together. So I've only really ever done fairly short rides, so that's anything up to kind of like 40k max, really 50k. I think was the absolute most I've ever done, and I pretty much died on it. So this bike I really want to take up, push my distance, push my speed, build watts. I might look at getting a turbo trainer over the next few weeks as it starts to get warm again, which once again is really silly way around to do it. But yeah, I basically want to build distance on this bike, something that's comfortable, something I'm happy riding. So yeah, I'll stop waffling and show you a few more components on the bike. So welcome now, dear viewer, to my povlog, or point of view video blogging. So like I said, it is a carbon frame and carbon fork. It's the 130th anniversary edition, and like I said, it was originally a 105 group set on there. Now some of the components do remain 105, so you can see the rear mech and everything. Cassette, it is still 105 running gear. So these are actually 52/34 chainrings and an 11/28 cassette on the back. Obviously the crank arms have been upgraded to Dura-8. Now for people who aren't familiar, Shimano's kind of top 3 group sets. So it goes, you get 105 and then Ultegra and then Dura-8 as well. Now there are upgrades on here, so you can actually get Di2, which instead of mechanical shifting is electric shifting. So instead of having the wires that run down here through the bike, there's a little battery component that will be stored in here and transmit to the gear changing mechanism here. So it's just a bit faster, less mechanical, and some people really do prefer it, but it does command a really massive increase in price. So the kind of famed Bianchi frame colour is Celeste, which is what we've got on here. And actually the previous owner has gone to something to kind of protect it. So I don't know if you'll pick it up that well in the camera. Probably a better divide here. But they have actually wrapped it, so it's a little bit like PPF on a car, just to protect from kind of stone chips and everything like that, which it seems to have done really well. Now a couple of things upgraded in addition to the group set here that we've seen. Obviously I touched on in the intro there that we've actually got duration rim brakes as well. I don't know how much the weight saving is on those. I think it's probably fairly significant on this, but I think the fastest I'll go is if I lose a few kilograms myself, so that doesn't really come into play. But yes, we've got an FSA SLK seat post, and same for the stem as well. I'm not entirely sure whether there's weight saving there, whether they're carbon or not, I do not actually know. And then also, importantly, a Fizzy-K saddle. That Fizzy-K saddle is really comfortable for me. Obviously you wear padded shorts with it. It's not very cushioning by itself, but yeah, really comfortable for the rides I have done. I've only really ridden up to about 35k on this, around Regent's Park, but yeah, for that distance, really comfortable. Now the original wheels spec'd on this bike are Fulcrum Racing wheels. They aren't great. I think that's something that was kind of a downside or a negative list on the original review of the bike, which I'll probably link below. So it might be something I look to upgrade in the future, but to be honest, for now, this bike is definitely a better spec than I am rider, which is fine. The previous owner also fitted some 28mm tyres. Now he was a bit unsure about the actual clearance on it when he actually went to fit them. This bike normally being 25mm clearance or 23, I think it was maybe 23, 25, not entirely sure, but he did say that the 28 is slightly larger. I'm really happy with these. They're quite comfortable to be riding on. Whether I change over the summer, probably not. I mean, I do want to do some kind of more endurance rides. London to Brighton, something I'm definitely interested in, so I probably won't bother with that. Something I wasn't actually aware of is that a lot of the time when you buy a bike, pedals aren't included. I really wasn't aware of this, so I picked up the bike on a Friday night, desperately wanted to ride over the weekend and then couldn't, so spent most of Saturday running around central London back in October trying to find some pedals, which was quite annoying, and everywhere was out of stock. So I was a bit panicked, but I did eventually in Nevin Cycles pick up these pedals. They're SPD 550 pedals from Shimano, one below the 105. I think it's about £30 difference and maybe about 30 grams difference as well. Pretty much the exact same mechanism, so I wasn't too fussed about those. Now obviously with pedals you also need cleats to clip into them, because obviously you'll see on here you couldn't just use a flat shoe. Now I was thinking this is something I was going to have to buy as well as the pedals, but actually they were included when I purchased these. So I think the pedals were about 50-60 quid, and they did come with a set of these which retail normally I think anywhere around £15 as well. So obviously I had the same problem of shoes as I did with pedals. Shoes all seemed to be out of stock, so I ended up getting these Specialized Torch road bike shoes. Now they were probably also a little bit more than I wanted to spend, but they are really comfy. I think they're probably only about £20-30 more than the lowest entry point for kind of a decent wearing pair of cycling shoes. So that's my bike. Hopefully you found that informative, useful if you're looking at getting Bianchi. I've already touched on a few of the things I want to be doing over the coming year or maybe a couple of years time. Other than being London to Brighton, I think that'd be really cool to get involved with. I also want to do some triathlon stuff, and I think this could be a good bike for it as well, without overcommitting to a tri-bike. Finally, at my workplace there are a few people doing absolutely huge distances. We've got a kind of a Strava cycling club, which is really cool. Someone's actually doing the full Tour de France this year ahead of the Tour, so it's 3,500 kilometres, which is absolutely insane. Obviously that's not on my radar, but it is something to look up to, and yeah, keep me going with some bigger distances over the coming summer. So yeah, there you have it. If you enjoyed the video, let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to drop a like, subscribe if you like the content, and let me know what you want to see cycling wise, future content. I've got a few things planned, but it'd be really cool to hear your thoughts. Yeah, so thanks for watching, catch you next time.